Government. A government is a group of people who run a country or state. In the past, most countries were ruled by kings, queens, or emperors. Nowadays, many governments are chosen by the people of the country they rule. The adults vote in an election to choose the government they want. This is known as democracy. Westminster. In most countries, the government meets in one place, such as the buildings of Westminster in London, England. Voting in South Africa. In 1994, all black South Africans were allowed to vote for the very first time. Find out more. Constitution. In most countries, the rules by which the state is governed are written down in a constitution. The first written constitution was in the USA in 1776. Parliamentary democracy. Some countries, such as the Netherlands, United Kingdom, and Spain, are still monarchies. They have kings or queens. Often, these monarchs have little real power, and a democratic government or parliament is made up of elected politicians. These countries are called parliamentary democracies or constitutional monarchies. Federal government. Some governments, like that of the USA, are federal. This means that states or regions within the country have their own governments with control over local affairs. The central, or federal government, controls major issues that affect all areas, such as the defense of the nation. Multi-party republic. A country without a ruling king or queen is known as a republic. Some republics elect their ruling party through the democratic process. If there is more than one party competing for the position of government, the country is said to be a multi-party republic. The president. In some countries, such as the USA and France, an elected president is the leader of state and holds the most power. In other countries, such as the United Kingdom and Italy, power lies with an elected assembly, or parliament. The leader of the parliament is usually known as the prime minister. The parliament can throw out a government and make a new one. Democracy. In a democracy, all, or nearly all, the adult people of a country can vote. They elect politicians to represent them and to pass laws in a parliament, or congress. In some places, they also elect a president, as head of the state. In the 1990s, most governments in the world are democracies. Greenpeace. Members of Greenpeace try to protect the environment. Demonstration. People demonstrate to show that they disagree with the government. Find out more. Democracy. Democracy was invented in Athens, Greece, around 500 BC. In Athens, every male citizen went to an assembly and voted on laws directly. As states became bigger, it was impossible for everyone to go to the assembly. Elections. In modern democracies, every few years the voters elect people to represent them in the assembly. These representatives discuss laws and vote on behalf of their electors. Occasionally, the voters may be asked to vote directly on a single issue. This is called a referendum. Freedom of speech. True democracy is impossible without freedom of speech and freedom of information. People need to know what is happening so they can form opinions about what should be done. They also need to be able to discuss issues freely. Also, in a democracy, groups can organize themselves to oppose the government, or to push for new laws. In some countries, people do not have these rights. Those who speak out against the government or organize opposition are arrested, and access to information is strictly controlled. International relations. Different countries often meet to help each other and make agreements. International relations is often concerned with avoiding wars. When countries do not agree, they usually try to negotiate to reach a compromise. They also form alliances with friendly states to defend themselves against a possible attack. The United Nations. The United Nations, UN, is an organization whose main aim is to keep peace and give aid. Meeting to talk. The leaders of different countries sometimes meet to talk about their ideas and plans. This is called a summit. Find out more. The UN. The United Nations, UN, is an organization that was set up in 1945. Almost every country in the world belongs to it. Its main mission is to keep the peace, but it also fights poverty and disease. The UN General Assembly discusses world events and the Security Council makes major decisions. The UN can only act effectively when all the world's major countries agree. NATO. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, set up in 1949, is the world's most powerful military alliance. It includes the United States of America and the main countries of Western Europe. The European Union. The European Union is an association of 12 European countries, including Britain, France, Germany, and Italy. It has a parliament, and a commission to run its affairs. But the different countries in the European Union still keep their independence. Politics. Politics exists because people disagree about what should be done. In democracies, political parties are set up to represent the different interests and ideas of the people. They compete to get the most votes. Each party says what it will do if it wins, and the candidates present these plans to the voters. Mao Zedong. China is ruled by the Communist Party, which was set up by Chairman Mao Zedong. Election campaign. In a democracy, elections are held every few years. Politicians travel around to meet voters in the streets. Find out more. One party. In some countries, such as China, there is only one political party allowed. This party governs the country and does not allow any opposition. The party lays down an ideology, a set of beliefs. Everyone in the country is expected to follow those beliefs. Anyone who speaks against them is persecuted. Totalitarian states. This system, in which one group has total control over the government and people, existed in Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler in the 1930s and 1940s, and in the Soviet Union until 1987. It still exists in China today. These one-party states are called totalitarian. Political parties. Political parties are often described as right-wing, left-wing, or of the center between the two. Right-wing parties tend to be conservative. They often support business and traditional values. Left-wing parties tend to want the government to act in favor of poor people. They may be socialist, believing in using the power of the state to abolish the difference between rich and poor.